mind fall? Meaning, does the mind go towards its own objects? In the moolam, it is not there towards its own object, but we have to supply it. That is called sambandha, sambadhyate. Is this sentence clear? Now comes grammar. यहाँ पर थोड़ा grammatical problems हैं. Try to understand as much as you can. You know, every word in Sanskrit is formed from dhatu. All words are derived from dhatus. Ish is a dhatu, it's a root, basic root. Its meaning can be Ishehe, the dhatu's meaning is, the dhatu of ish dhatu ka artha hai abhikshnyarthasya gatyarthasya. It can mean again and again. Abhikshnya means, repetition, in the sense of repetition. Abhikshnyarthasya, the meaning of repetition. Gatyarthasya, and the meaning, that is movement. Movement. Ish can mean three meanings. Ish can mean three things. Like Ishitam means, it can mean desired, it can also mean repeated, it can also mean reached. Is it clear? Ish dhatu has three meanings. Ishitam, in the moolam, Ishitam is there, Ishitam can mean willed or desired, it can also mean reached, it can also mean repeated. But in this present context, we cannot take repeated and reached. We have to take only willed, desired. Therefore, abhikshnyarthasya gatyarthasya cha iha asambhavat. In this context being impossible. In this context, in the first verse, Ishitam cannot mean repeated, Ishitam cannot mean reached. Therefore, we have to take only the other meaning. And what is the other meaning? Desired or willed. Ihacha asambhavat ichcha arthasya. Only the meaning ichcha, the desired, eva tadrupamiti gamyate. Therefore, its form is only ichcharthasya eva tadrupam. Ishitam is the derivation of the root ish, whose meaning is desire. Tadrupamiti. Ishitam is a form. Ishitam is past participle form. It is derived from the dhatu ish, whose meaning is desire, to desire, not to repeat, not to reach. इच्छा अर्थ वाली जो इश धातु है, उसी का रूप है इशितम. Ishitam is the rupa of that ish dhatu whose artha is to desire. So therefore Ishitam means what? Desired or willed, but not reached or repeated. Because in the present context, those meanings don't work. We have to see the context also. Now another question. In our common parlance, do you ever say Ishitam or Ishtam? Do you say Ishitam or Ishtam? Ishtam hota hai, Ishitam nahi hota hai. But in the Shruti, it is Ishitam. Therefore it has to be converted into Ishtam, because it is used in the Veda. Certain forms are accepted in the Vedic language. It doesn't conform to Panini grammar. The present grammar, according to the present day grammar, it is Ishtam, but sometimes the Veda can compromise. It can flout the laws of grammar and then use a word that is, that particular thing is what is called Chandasam. Ishitamiti, this prakar, Ishitam, this particular word, it prayogaha, it prayogastu. It prayogaha, you don't understand. One is Satan and it. In grammar there are two forms. I will tell you what is Satan on it, just in simple way. Like gata. गतागतम होता है ना, बुद्ध, दग्ध, ज्ञाता. ज्ञात हो तो मालूम है ना, ज्ञात. व्हाट इज ज्ञाता? ज्ञात है, known. ज्ञात means known. It is a past participle passive formed from the root jna. Sometimes we add the to the root, sometimes ita. We have seen the past participle passives. Gata, but lekin patita. Gat mein takara is added, patita mein ita is added. So to certain roots we add ita, and to certain roots we add only ta. Therefore here it prayogaha. Yahan pa it prayogaha means we have added ita. It prayogaha means what? We have added ita. But as actually what should be added to ish? Only ta. If you add only ta to ish, then what will be the form? Ishta. Ish dhatu ka keval takar add kijiye, then it will be ishta. Takara will become takara. Ishta. If you add ita, then it will be ishita. According to Panini grammar, it cannot be ishita, it has to be ishta. Therefore, ishta prayogastu chandasaha. It has been used in the Veda, therefore we have to accept it. This prayoga is a wrong grammar, a grammatical mistake made by Veda is called chandasa. We don't consider it as a mistake, we consider it as chandasa, meaning what? Used by Veda. Therefore don't correct it. Understand it differently, but don't correct it. Call it chandasa. In order not to compromise with the meter, you have to compromise with the grammar. Sometimes if you don't compromise with the grammar, you have to compromise with the chandas, the meter. If you should not compromise with the chandas, the meter, then you compromise with grammar. So a compromise made in the grammar in order not to break the meter is what is called chandasam. Therefore, kena ishitam is wrong, kena ishtam is right. Ishtam is right according to the grammar, ishtam is right, but ishitam is not right, but still the Veda uses ishitam and accept it as chandasam. In order to save the chandas, you break the grammar. You break the grammar to save the chandas, to follow the chandas, the meter. Is it clear? Tasyaiva, of the same word ishitaka, tasya eva, of the same word ishitam, tasyaiva, usika, prapurvasya, presupposing pra. Now there is word ishita and put pra before it. Pra plus ishitam becomes preshitam. Pra plus ishitam becomes preshitam because even though many people may not have studied Sanskrit, हिंदी पढ़ने से भी ये सब बताते हैं ना. You can't say I don't know anything of this. हमको हिंदी मालूम नहीं, you can't say. So preshitam. Therefore ishitam and preshitam. Preshitam is nothing but ishitam along with pra. Preshitam. Prapurvasya niyogarthe. It is in the sense of prompting. Niyogarthe in the sense of niyog karna. Niyoga means, in Hindi, all Hindi is nothing but Sanskrit. When you put a man on the job, that is called niyog karna. Niyukta hai. है ना? नियोग करना, नियुक्त है. Niyogarthe in the sense of prompting. Preshitam is the word preshitam. Ityetat. So it means the word preshitam. The word preshitam is in the sense of prompting, and it is formed. Preshitam is formed by the ishitam along with pra. Pra plus ishitam become preshitam. Pra plus ishitam becomes preshitam, and it is in the sense of prompting. Prompting means, to put a person on a given job. You make a person do something, that is called niyog karna. It's called niyogatma. To make someone do is called niyog karna. To do is different from to make the other person do is what is called niyoga. Supposing I am walking, then is it niyoga? No. I make the other person walk, that is called niyog karna. Niyogta. Hindi mein hota hai na, niyogta means what? The one who puts the people on different jobs is called niyogta. Therefore now, the student has asked the question, by whose will, by whose desire, mind functions, senses function, speech functions, breath functions, and another sentence is, prompted by whom do all these things function? Question is clear. Now, why do you use both ishitam and preshitam? It's all vichara, shastra vichara. Thoda tough hota hai first few lines, then afterwards all easy. Why do you say willed by whom, prompted by whom? Why don't you just use either willed by whom or prompted by whom? Why do you have to use both the words ishitam and preshitam? Now Siddhanti says, if you don't use both, this will be the problem. What will be the problem? This is the problem. Tatra, there, preshitamityeva ukte. Supposing the Shruti had used only one word called preshitam. Preshitamityeva ukte. If the Shruti had used only one word called preshitam, prompted by whom do all these things function? Not desired by whom. That desired by whom is not there, only prompted by whom is there in the Shruti. Let us imagine. Ukte, then there will be a problem of preshayitru, preshana, visesha, vishayakanksha syat. Then there would be preshayitru, there has to be someone who is preshayitru, the one who prompts. There should be someone who has to prompt. And the one who has to prompt himself must have a body, he must have a mind, himself must have his own body, his own senses, his own breath, his own mind, his own intellect. So preshayitru also becomes, so that means what? The one who prompts my mind, my intellect, my senses, my breath, the one who prompts my mind, my intellect, my senses, my breath, himself also must have his own body, his own senses, his own mind, his own intellect. That is not possible. Supposing the one who prompts my mind, if himself also has a mind, then his mind also must have another prompter. And if that prompter has a mind, then that mind also must have another prompter. Therefore now, the one who prompts my mind should not have a mind, should not have another mind. If my mind is prompted by someone, if he also has a mind, then he will be an individual like me. If he is also an individual like me, then his mind also requires another prompter, another one because of whom his mind functions. Not able to follow? They are not very difficult thoughts. The only thing is, you should not go. All remain in the class mentally. Mind goes here and there. Thoda abide hona chahiye. If I have a mind, I have a question. Is there anyone because of whom my mind functions? Now you answer me, yes, there is someone. Who prompts? Shruti says there is someone who prompts your mind. That means now the one who prompts my mind, does he have a mind? If he has a mind, then he too should have a prompter. He too should have if he has a mind, he should have breath. If he has a mind, he should have breath. If he has a breath, he should have the senses also. Then his breath, his senses, his mind also must have a prompter. Then it will be what? Regress ad infinitum. Are you able to follow? Therefore, the one who prompts the mind should not have a mind of his own. He should not have another individual. If he has a mind, then he will be an individual. Is it not? Can you think of a being with mind but not individual? Yes, Swamiji, Bhagwan. Bhagwan hai, Bhagwan ka apna man hai. If Bhagwan has his own mind, then his mind makes him an individual, is it not? Wherever there is a mind, there is individuality. Is it not? Wherever there is a mind, a thought, there is individuality. Therefore, should Bhagwan have mind? Bhagwan should not have mind. If Bhagwan has mind, and then I have mind, then no difference. Wherever there is mind, there will be ragadveshas. You can't have a mind without ragadveshas. So Bhagavan also will have his own ragadveshas. These are the thoughts which are most important in the pursuit. That the truth should not have thought. That the truth should not have a mind. If the truth has a mind, then it will be an individual. If it is an individual and I am also an individual, then there is no difference. When you are in Sushupti, do you have a mind? In Sushupti, do you have a mind? Is there a thought? Is there perception? Is there body? Is there breath? Do you feel you are breathing? For others, you have the body, vagara, vagara. But in you, when you are in Sushupti, do you feel the existence of the body, the breath, the senses, the mind, intellect, vagara? No. You are free from all of them. At that time, you have no mind. There is no individual mind. At that time, what are you? An individual or absolute? You are absolute. You are not, you have no spatial existence. Therefore, the one who prompts my mind should not have a mind. Because if he has a mind, then he will be an individual. Therefore, supposing if the Shruti had used the word only preshitam, then there would be akanksha or ashanka, there would be a question as to who is that prompter, preshayitru, preshana visesha, and the type of prompting, the nature of the one who prompts. Vishaya akanksha, a doubt pertaining to. Vishaya akanksha means a doubt pertaining to that way he prompts and his nature. There would be a doubt pertaining to the doubt about the way he prompts my mind. How does he prompt my mind to function? I will have a doubt. How does he prompt my mind? With what does he prompt? Does he prompt my mind to function by advice, by using certain words, or does he use his own thought? Does he use his own words? Does he use his own body to prompt my mind? All these problems will come. The moment you say somebody is there to prompt my mind, I will say with what does he prompt? With what does he prompt my mind to function? A question aa jayega. And if he also prompts my mind, like I prompt another person to do something, like the employer prompts the employed to do things, keeps on nagging, that is called prompting. So you go on telling you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that, this is what is called prompting. You prompt. Now if there is someone to prompt my mind, that prompter should he be an individual or not? If he is a prompter, he should be an individual. If he is an individual, then he also has his own senses, his own mind. Then his own mind also must have another prompter. So it will be a contradiction. अनवस्था हो जाएगा. Therefore, kena akanksha kena preshayitru visheshena, kena by whom, preshayitru visheshena by which prompter, that is the meaning of the entire phrase. Kena preshayitru visheshena by which prompter, kidrisham va preshanam, and what type of prompting. These two questions will arise in my mind. What are the two questions? Who is that prompter? What is his nature? And how does he prompt? This question arises. मुश्किल हो गया. If he is also like me, then he also requires another prompter. This problem can be tackled. This problem can be tackled very beautifully by using another word, ishitam also. If there were only preshitam, then this problem would be there. Are you able to follow? If the Shruti had used only preshitam, if the Shruti had used only preshitam but not ishitam, then there would be the problem of the prompt, then there would be doubts on my part. I will have two doubts. Who is that prompter? What is his nature? And how does he prompt? These problems, these doubts will arise in my mind. Now, the Shruti has used not only preshitam but also ishitam. Ishitam means just willed or desired by whom. The moment you say desired by whom, then also it means the same thing. Purupakshi, we can doubt like this. If the one who prompts, if he is an individual, the one who wills also can be an individual. Like prompting someone to do something, prompting implies individuality. It is the individual who prompts. It is the individual again who wills. Is there will in the absolute? There is no will in the absolute. Is there a desire in the absolute? No. Does the absolute prompt someone to do something? No. Absolute doesn't prompt. Absolute doesn't will. Absolute doesn't desire. If the one who prompts is an individual, then the one who desires also is an individual. Is an individual. How are you going to get out of this chakka? Here in Shastra, ichha matrena, by mere will or by mere desire, in the Shastra it means by mere presence. Please understand this. Ichha matrena means what? By mere presence. Ishitam means willed by whom, desired by whom. In Shastra it means by whose presence. By whose presence. By whose presence. Not that there has to be a desire or will or prompting. By whose presence. That is why ishitamiti tu visheshane. Because of the adjective ishitam. Because of the adjective ishtam. Because of the adjective ishtam sati. ऐसा विशेषण होने से विशेषते सति तदुभयम निवर्तते. These two problems come to an end. Tadubhayam means what? These two doubts. What are the doubts? What is the nature of that? What is that prompter? And what kind of prompting? These two doubts will come to an end because of the adjective ishitam. Tadubhayam nivartate. Because the whole meaning can be like this. Kasya ichcha matrena, by whose mere desire. Kasya ichcha matrena means by whose mere desire. Preshitam, does the mind get prompted? Does the mind get prompted? There is someone to prompt him? No, it gets prompted. By whose mere will does the mind get prompted? इति अर्थ विशेष निर्धारणा. ऐसी विशेषा इस प्रकार की अर्थ लेने के कारण से प्रेषितम इति अर्थ विशेष, दिस पर्टिकुलर मीनिंग निर्धारणा, being determined, this particular meaning being determined, meaning this particular meaning being taken. So we have to take this particular meaning. What is the particular meaning? By whose mere will does the mind get prompted is the correct meaning. Is it clear? Instead of saying prompted by whom, desired, instead of saying prompted by whom, we say by whose mere will does the mind get prompted. Now, if there is no ishitam, then what will be the meaning? If there is no word ishitam, then what will be the next word? Preshitam. If it is only preshitam, not ishitam, then what will be the meaning? सब गड़बड़ है. There are only three words you have to remember. One is called ishitam, the other is called preshitam, the third is called manaha. तीन ही तो शब्द है ना. You eliminate the first word. Instead of saying ishitam, preshitam, manaha, you say preshitam, manaha, no ishitam. Ishitam means desired, preshitam means prompted, manaha means mind. बाकी सब छोड़ दीजिए. Ishitam, preshitam, manaha. What will be the meaning? Willed by whom, prompted by whom does the mind fall? Now ishitam you eliminate. Supposing there is no ishitam, then mind prompted by whom? Mind prompted by whom? हो जाएगा. The moment you say the mind prompted by whom, then the one who prompts becomes an individual. Okay, the prompter is there. As the prompter, he will be an individual. This problem will go if you include ishitam also. Now you include ishitam and read willed by whom, and prompted by whom does the mind fall? Willed by whom does the mind get prompted? Willed by whom does the mind get prompted? Not willed by whom, prompted by whom. Only once you say willed by whom does the mind get prompted. Even now, willed by whom means that person who wills must be an individual. There we say, in Shastra, willed by whom means by whose presence. By whose presence. Like even by mere will of the Lord, by the mere desire of the Lord, the world happened. The creation took place by his mere desire. This does not imply the desire in the Lord's mind, it only implies the Lord's presence. You know, the presence. Therefore, the question is like this. Willed by whom does the mind get prompted? That is the first meaning. And itself has to be interpreted. By whose presence does the mind get prompted? The first meaning is willed by whom does the mind get prompted, but actually it means what? By whose presence does the mind get prompted? By whose presence does the mind get prompted means that presence need not have the will, need not be an individual. Is it not? If you say mere presence, then it need not be an individual. This is clear? So the whole thing that we exercise resolves in one sentence. By whose presence does the mind get prompted and fall on its objects? By whose presence does the speech speak? By whose presence do the sense organs perceive? By whose presence does the mind think? Do the senses perceive? Does the speech speak? Does the breath function? Meaning all of them presuppose a presence, not any will, not any desire, not any action. Therefore, the activities on the part of the speech, breath, mind, senses, the functioning on their part does not presuppose a functioning on the part of something else. Their functioning presupposes only a presence of something, not the functioning on the part of something. Atma is functioning, therefore they are all functioning. Iti no. Atma is, therefore they are functioning. Therefore functioning presupposes a presence, but functioning does not presuppose another functioning. Able to follow? All of them function. Their functioning does not presuppose functioning on the part of something, but their functioning presupposes presence on the part of something. Therefore, the student's question is only this much. He wants to know whether they function independently or they function presupposing the presence of something. Now, this is the meaning. Then now comes the next thing. Yadi eshaha. Now, Purvapakshi. Now there is a doubt. We can go into the notes also, Without the notes, these things will not be understood. Upanishad का तो notes लिखवाना पड़ेंगे. Now there is a doubt. The doubt is yadi eshaha abhipretaha artaha syat. If this is the meaning that is accepted, yadi in case eshaha artaha, this meaning abhipretaha syat is thought of. If this meaning is accepted, meaning what is the meaning that we have accepted? All of them function presupposing presence. If this is the meaning accepted, then kena ishitamityeva ityetavata eva siddhatvat. Then kena ishitam, this particular phrase by the Shruti, kena ishitam, itni baat, ityetavata eva, itni matra se hi, siddhatvat, this meaning can be established. Preshitam itina vaktavyam, then there need not be another adjective called preshitam. So the Purvapakshi says, then Shruti would have said only ishitam but not preshitam. The sense of presence can be arrived at through ishitam. We don't have to use another word, preshitam. Why? That he says apicha, and also in the Shastram there is a logic. Shabdadhikyat arthadhikyam. More the words, more the meanings. You know? Apicha, further, shabdadhikyat. When there are more, if there is one word, one meaning. If there are two words, two meanings. It's a simple baat hai. If there are three words, three meanings. Jitna jada shabd hai, utna jada arth bhi hai. You have ishitam one word, preshitam another word. दोनों का एक अर्थ कैसे लेगा? दोनों का दो अर्थ लेना चाहिए. इति शब्दाधिक्यात अर्थाधिक्यम युक्तम is proper. इति therefore इच्छया कर्मणा वाचावा. इच्छया by his desire, karmana by his action, vacha or by his word, va kena by what, preshitam is prompted. Iti artha visheshaha, this particular meaning, avagantum yuktaha, has to be arrived at. Aisa? is possible to arrive at, proper to arrive at. Here Siddhanti Purvapakshi says, if there is some Atma which prompts the mind, which prompts my mind and my senses, my breath, my speech, then that Atma must have some instrument through which he must prompt me. Aina? You can't say by mere presence all these things are functioning, because mere presence if you want to have, then Ishitam itself is enough, Preshitam is why. If the Shruti has used Preshitam also, we must have its own meaning. Ishitam means by presence, Preshitam means prompted. So if you have to take the word Preshitam, then it has to be prompted. Now if Atma prompts my mind, my senses, my breath, my speech, then that Atma must always prompt either by his desire, by his will, or by his words, or by his action. When we prompt others, how do we prompt? We will them, or we speak to them, or we physically make them work, or orally we say to them and make them work, and then physically we make them work, or we will them. होता है ना? We use our will, we use our words, we use our action to make others do, to prompt others do. Now if Atma has to do my mind think, if Atma has to prompt my mind etc., then it has to use one of these three instruments, either Vacha or Karmana or Ichchaya. That means Atma also is capable of desire, capable of action, capable of desire, capable of action, capable of speech. है ना? If Atma also is capable of desire, will, action, words, then its own words, its own desire, its own mind has to have another prompter. Not able to follow? If Atma prompts my mind, and to prompt my mind it must have its own mind, then its mind have another prompter, and if that prompter has its own mind, then that mind must have its own prompter, and that prompter also has a mind, therefore it must have its own prompter. Like this anavastha. Anavastha means you can never reach the final prompter. Ultimately कौन prompt करता है किसी को मालूम नहीं है. Therefore the one who prompts my mind should not have mind. Should not have mind. The one who prompts my speech should not have speech. The one who prompts my breath and senses should not have breath and senses. If this is true, then why this particular word Preshitam, this word Preshitam implies that he also has. The one who prompts my mind should not have mind, but the word Preshitam implies that the one who prompts my mind must have mind. Is it clear? By logic, the one who prompts my mind should not have mind, but the word Preshitam says he must have mind. This is a contradiction. इसको कैसे resolve करेंगे? For that here he says, न, स नहीं है. All your argument has no meaning because प्रश्न सामर्थ्यात्. प्रश्न सामर्थ्यात्. On the strength of the nature of the question. On the strength of the nature of the question, all that you say is wrong. Siddhanti says, हे पूर्व पक्षी, जो आपने कहा है वो सब गलत है, because a person, the nature of the question. Somebody is asking question to the teacher now. Now when you come to Vedanta, Vedantic teacher, you always want to know what is not known. Is it not? You don't want to know what you already know. You always want to know what is not known. I know really this one thing is what is called the Karikana Sanghatma. The body, senses, mind, intellect, this is called embodiment. You move your embodiment. The embodiment moves means you came from home to this place. So this entire system came here. The system was there at home and the system came to Ramana Kendra. Why? What is it that brought it here? What is it that brought it here? आप आराम से बैठे थे. And then something happened and then you said, let me go to Ramana Kendra. What is it? You did not come accidentally, please. You came really. You did not come accidentally, but you came by your own will. That means there is ichcha, the desire to come. That is called ichcha. Then ichcha itself did not bring you here, but you did karma, action. Therefore, through karma and ichcha and karma, you came here. That means, by my ichcha, by my karma, my body is moving. When my body moves, I know there is my ichcha behind. Please listen to this point. Don't get restless. When my body moves, I know there is my ichcha behind. My body will not move unless I will. My speech will not speak unless I will. My sense organs will not see unless I will. If I will not to see, I will not see. When I want to hear, I hear. When I want to see, I see. When I want to taste, I taste. When I want to touch, I touch. Like this, when I want to think, I think. That means behind my physical action, oral action, and perceptions and mental action, all actions presuppose my individual will. Is known or not? Behind all these actions, there is my individual will. Is it known or not? A person who comes to Vedantic teacher, does he not know this much? Behind all our actions, we have got our own sweet will. I am not doing things because of somebody else's will. I am doing by my own will. If the teacher also says, your body, your breath, your senses, your mind, intellect, everything is functioning because of your will, if the teacher says, then is he repeating what is already known to you, or is he revealing? All these things are there because behind my physical actions, oral actions, perception and mind, I have an individual will. Without my individual will, I don't do anything. That I have an individual will behind all my actions is known to you or not? Is known to you. Is known to everybody or not? Is known to everybody. Is known to everybody. And a person who comes to Vedantic teacher, he also knows it. Now the student asks a question, hey Bhagavan, please tell me because of whom my mind is functioning, my senses are functioning, and my speech is functioning, my body is moving. All these things are functioning because of what? The student asks the question to the teacher. And the teacher replies in this manner, that is because of your individual will. They are all functioning because of your will. Supposing the teacher says, then is he revealing something unknown or repeating? He is only repeating, because I already know that there is an individual will. I want to know over and above that individual will, is there something else, because of whose presence my individual will itself is functioning. I want to know more than my will. I know that I have a will behind my actions. I will and speak. I will and think. I will and move. I will and act. I will and eat. I will and drink. I will and sleep. I will and get up. That means behind all that I do, I have a will. I know it. And if the teacher also says behind all the functionings your will is there, then he is not revealing something, but he is only repeating. The teacher is not meant to repeat, but he is meant to reveal. Therefore, what should he reveal? He should not reveal my will. He has to say there is something. I am interested in knowing if there is something over and above my individual will. Individual will. If there is something over and above my individual will, if there is something, that something, should it be in the form of the will or should it be in the form of the presence? Should it be a will? No. Because if it is a will, again, then he will become an individual like me. Just as I have a will and I am an individual, and the one who makes me function, if he also has a will, then he will be like an individual like me, because there can't be a will where there is no individuality. It is the individual who has the will. Where there is will, there is individual, jiva. Is it clear? Therefore, over and above my will, if there is something, that something cannot be in the form of will, it has to be in the form of mere presence, simple presence. In the form of simple